Hello and welcome to the Old Soul, New Soul Astrology Podcast. I'm Thomas Miller along with Robert Glasscock, and we're going to talk about a chart that is upcoming here as we are recording this on March the 7th, it is today. And we're going to talk about a couple of things coming up in the sky ahead of us, which are super critical important. Robert, let's just jump right on into this chart. First of all, we're going to take a look at Wednesday, March 12th. A day that is significant on two fronts. First of all, the sun conjoins Saturn on this day, and also the moon slips itself into position for the upcoming eclipse on Friday. So what do you have for us for Wednesday, March 12th?
Wednesday, March 12th, the moon in Virgo is moving to oppose the Sun-Saturn conjunction in Pisces. So what do you think that means? What I think it means, first of all, worry and the need to pay attention to some serious financial papers, income tax papers, business papers, and communications with other people, including everybody really in your life. To clear up communication misunderstandings, which are typical when you've got the Sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces. There can be all sorts of hidden agendas or unconscious agendas. And the moon in Virgo, an earth sign and a very pragmatic sign, says, be real, be practical. It's a great time to begin to actualize dreams and ideas and goals by making notes, making organization, making bullet points, writing business proposals, those things that force you to be organized and prioritized. But it's not a good time to entertain false hopes, unrealistic thinking, to expect too much too soon. It's really a time to kind of put your nose to the grindstone, get very real, be very pragmatic, and be very clear in communications, because the tendency is for two people or more people to misunderstand each other. So don't be afraid to say, wait a minute, am I hearing you correctly? Is this what this is what I heard. Is that what you meant? That kind of approach.
Yeah,
Now, what about
exactly.
you?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been looking at this in the context of it is staging for Friday's eclipse. And the eclipse to me, especially with that Saturn as we were looking there, the Saturn Sun conjunction here that happens on Wednesday, I always like to look at things through the lens of the spiritual path. I go back to Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. You remember my favorite quote, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." So we can look at it from both ways. Earth signs are human experience, right? That's all about being grounded and being practical and being real and being in the here and now on planet Earth. And we have the Sun and Saturn in Pisces, which is very much Teilhard de Chardin's on the other side. It's the spiritual side. It's the ethereal side. It's the dreamy side. Have your dreams been amplified here lately with these aspects unfolding in Pisces? Mine sure have been crazy. So what I'm looking at this from is the standpoint of where are you on your, and this is where I like to say, highest timeline. And yes, Saturn brings a sobriety to this. It brings a tap the brakes. Hey, stop, whoa, pause, reflect. And like you said, with Virgo, that moon over there in Virgo is let's organize our thoughts. Let's get ourselves together here. Let's make sure that we are being practical in our spiritual path. And what I came up with this too is how committed are you to your spiritual path? In other words, are you kicking sand? Are you sticking your toe in the water? Or is spirituality so much a part of you that if they came in and cleaned things out of your environment, you'd say you can have anything in here except one thing. You can't take that from me, nor am I willing to give it. Is it that much a part of your thread, of your fabric? And I think that this is what the Sun-Saturn conjunction today brings us to analyze. in a way of really facing our commitment to our spiritual path. And then another thing that's in here that I see too is as soon as this eclipse is basically over, the sun is going to peel out. So it leaves Pisces for Aries, and then Neptune leaves Pisces. So all that's going to be left is the poor little North Node in there, and the whole energy of the world shifts to hovering over this 0 degrees Aries point, which also is going to be in a sextile to Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, and that is when the energy on planet Earth starts to change. So to me, we're not going to talk about that part right now because that's a whole nother episode. But to me, what that sets up for us is this is the last few days, really, of this amazing experience that we've had of these planets in Pisces to connect with the home office, our spiritual self, with God, with highest source. And this is a window of opportunity because it is going to pass away. And we've been doing a thing on my Subconscious Mind Mastery podcast since the new moon 2 weeks ago. We've been doing this. I've called it March Funness. I wanted to do the basketball analogy because I thought it was kind of fun and it's March Madness time, but I didn't want to be mad. So I wanted to do fun. So we did March Funness. But I've been talking about the subconscious mind and the spiritual side and this focus on Pisces and the new moon of this creating ability that's just been so powerful. I think it is truly an amazing, incredible time. And the sad part about it is it's going to go poof, just like that, and it will be gone. And then it's time to roll up our sleeves, put our boxing gloves on, and go to work because we're going to be in Aries.
Something else you just said. This is probably the most important time of this year for everybody to pay attention to your dreams. And I mean, keep a dream diary, especially around these days. Your dreams right now, we're all having them. Everybody, if you're the least bit aware, and if you're not, make yourself aware of your dreams. When you wake up, write them down. Second of all, you're going to be in touch with people out of your past. And I mean, even those who have deceased will be coming back into your mind and coming back into your lives through soul, maybe not physically. You're going to be
Mm.
thinking of past loves, past business adventures, and so on. The past is seeping through, being brought to you through your unconscious to be reconsidered, to realize how far you've come, and also maybe how you can actualize the dreams that you're now receiving to form the foundations for these new starts that are coming in Aries. So
Hmm.
this is a wonderful thing that you just said about dreams. Pay attention to them. Keep a dream diary. This is also a time to pay attention to your health. It's Pisces Virgo. So it's a great time to refine health habits, to eliminate time wasting habits or negative habits, and just to be aware of treat your body with some sensitivity and respect in terms of what you're putting into it, especially. But I love the dreams that you just mentioned.
Let's
Have you
jump up
noticed,
here
have
and
you noticed this in your own life? I'm just curious if you've been
oh,
having
I've
any.
been, I've no, I've been, I've capture. I've got a thing. I keep my journal beside my bed, and boy, have they ever been hyperactive. And some of them I don't remember, but if I can reconstruct some of it, I definitely have been capturing it because you're
Yeah,
right. I mean, this is come and go, and
yeah.
Neptune won't be back in its own sign for how long? About 160 years. So
See you
this
next
is.
lifetime.
Yeah, about three. So, I mean, this is seriously a once in for a long, long time. This kind of energy will not be back with us. Let's jump ahead 2 days and take a look at this eclipse chart real quick. This is Friday, March 14th. This is the total lunar eclipse and full moon.
Wow, can I not wait for this? Friday the 14th. I'm
Yeah.
serious. The sun in Pisces on the eclipse day, sextile Uranus in Taurus. This can be such a terrific day for turning what we just talked about, turning dreams into tangible realities, especially with creative and business ideas. And this can include money making opportunities as well. Second of all, on the eclipse day, the moon enters Libra, the sign of collaboration and partnerships and marriage, and trines Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto in Aquarius is, of course, the group and the collective. So this eclipse potentially opens up some perhaps unexpected opportunities, but nonetheless opens up some unique, unusual opportunities that are probably the most significant of this entire year for everybody who wants to be consciously attuned to them and take steps to actualize these creative ambition, desires, and goals, career goals that they have. It could be a great time to apply for jobs, for example. It could be a great time to join groups or go to conventions with people, like-minded people who share your interest. It's a wonderful eclipse.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the aspects. So basically, you have, as Robert just mentioned, you have the sun in a sextile to Uranus, which makes that in a trine to the moon. We have the same thing going on here, a trine to Mars, sextile to the moon, and then the trine to Pluto. But there are two other dynamics that we need to consider. One planet in retrograde, one planet will be going retrograde. So these two are very strong right now. Venus in retrograde at 7 degrees and Mercury getting ready to go retrograde on the degree point of the next eclipse, which will be in 2 weeks, March 29th, and that will be at 9 degrees in Aries. So, I mean, there's just, a lot of powerful energy in this chart. And I like your analogy about Uranus. I mean, yes, it can be the disruptor. It can be surprises. It can be a little shock and a little awe, so don't be surprised if there's a surprise. You're ready for it. But as Robert was talking about, from the standpoint, the other thing I was thinking about, astrology. Let's talk about astrology for a second, because with that in favorable aspects, and we know that the collective is moving toward a different kind of spirituality. Hello, Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years. We know that these things are changing. So even though there might not be some big dramatic event that takes place around this that triggers people to run to astrologers, it at least could probably bump it up in the collective some.
I love this eclipse. I totally do, for every reason. Monetarily, occupationally, people, the job pictures are changing drastically out there. But this is a great time to be thinking ahead and thinking about what you really want to do, especially if you have any sort of self-employment ideas, such as becoming an astrologer, which everybody would love to be, and I encourage them to be. We can't get enough good astrologers. But also any other kind of self-employment idea based on your talents and what you really love to do. This can be a prime time, the best time of the year, to begin to seriously start launching a self-employment venture with the odds of a long-term payoff, not something short-term, but something major. It can be a turning point in a lot of people's lives and in a lot of people's relationships, including with family members, spouses, husbands and wives, employers, partners in business, and co-workers, all of that. So look for some wonderful breakthroughs. Very happy. Everybody's frightened of eclipses. This is not one to be frightened of.
All right, good deal. Well, listen, we hope this helps prepare you for this eclipse coming up. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be doing a lot more of these, so we will see you in the next one and on the Old Soul, New Soul Astrology podcast, both on audio, now on also YouTube, and we're just cranking it out. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.